Hi everybody, it's Celia. How are you? I am a self-care advocate. I'm also the founder of Resilienista. Welcome to Self-Care Tips with Celia. It's a new series that we're kicking off. It replaces chats with Celia. Ask me a question. There is a lot of people asking lately about self-care, and you know, I am big on the bubble baths, okay? Ask me anytime. Yeah, I'm having a bubble bath. I am, especially with the cold weather we're experiencing in Toronto. Can you guys believe these temperatures? We were like rocking like our jackets, our jean jackets not that long ago, and now we're full on scarves and everything like that. So, I wanted to touch base with you guys today and really drive home about self-care, what it is, because there are different ways that we can practice self-care. And I wanted to talk to you about, ways that you can do that and different things in your life that go beyond the bubble baths and the naps, even though bubble baths are my favorite, okay? So I'm going to start with, think of our bodies. A lot of times we just think we operate on autopilot, and we don't look at our bodies as like the homes that we maintain so meticulously, the cars, the equipment, everything else that helps us in life that we take care of, but we don't take care of ourselves, and we're not practicing the self-care. Okay, so I really hope that you will take some notes down. I suggest getting a little notepad and perhaps a pen, because you might want to jot some of this down. Okay, it's that important today, guys. Okay, so health, wellness, fitness. Okay, how are you taking care of your physical health, your emotional health? Are you up to date on your checkups, your dental, your medical, your vision? Are you eating nutritious foods? Are you active? Okay, and active could be, you're walking. It's not that you have to be hitting the gym. It's leading an active lifestyle, and that is part of self-care, my friends. Okay, also personal grooming. Okay, yes, this is where bubble baths fits in, and that's my favorite part, but there's more to it. I really encourage you ladies to get in front of the mirror naked. I call this the naked truth. Okay, let's face it, we're getting up in the morning, we're running into that shower, we're showering, we're coming out, we're drying ourselves, we're putting on some clothes, and we're taking off out the door. At the end of the day, we're rushing back in. We've had a horrible day, or we've had a long day, or we've had an exciting day, so we're feeling good. But the last thing we want to do is, look at what we're doing with our bodies, type of thing. So, off come the clothes, on go the PJs, into bed you go, and that's it. You're not really taking a look at yourself. When was the last time you guys actually stood in front of a mirror, butt naked, and looked at yourself head to toe? Okay, I call that the Resilienista self-check. And it's, literally taking a look at yourself in the mirror, head to toe, and are you happy with what you see? How is your hair? Do you need to go and get a little root touch-up? Do you need to have a haircut? Do you need to have, a new style? What is it? Is your hair needing, with our hair we can tell if we're deficient in some nutrients as well. There's some nutritionists in our groups, and they would be able to speak to, more about that. Things to look at in our hair, our skin, our nails, our toenails, our teeth. Oh my God, ladies, we need to take care of that, our skin. Okay, also when you take the time to look at yourself in the mirror butt naked, you can look and see it. Did you get a new freckle? Did you get a new mole? Is something changing? Is there a mole that's all of a sudden changing? Things happen gradually over time, but if we don't take time to really look at it, we're not going to notice that until it is like a necessity. Okay, lifestyle, your home, your clothing, your social, your trips, those are all part of self-care. Are you living the life you want? And if not, what can you start doing to live that life? Because if you're not living a life that you want to be living, you're walking around with this big cloud and all of this pressure on you, because you're frustrated, you're unhappy, And that starts showing up in other areas of your life, and it becomes that vicious circle of what came first, the chicken or the egg. Okay? You know, so is your home welcoming to you and your guests? Like, do you walk in the door and kind of go, okay, I don't see that, I'm going upstairs, that's it, that's all. You know, you need to really look at areas in your home that maybe need a little clean up, that you want to have a little bit, looking a little bit fresher. Okay, whatever it is that you need to do in your home. You know, I recently had a half wall moved in my home, and those that have been to my home know, moving that half wall, oh my goodness, it literally opened up my whole space. You know, and all of a sudden I'm happy sitting in my living room and reading in my living room. I used to avoid my living room, okay? But moving that half wall was such, oh my God, I cannot begin to explain to you the difference that it made, okay? So that's for your home. Your wardrobe, go in your closet. You know, are the clothes in there, do they fit you physically? Do they fit you? Do they fit the person you are today, the life that you're leading, the lifestyle that you're, that you're on? Do you just hold on to those clothes because you've spent a lot of money on them? I know in the early days after my accident, one of the hardest things I had to let go of was my corporate suits, okay? And I had one of my physical therapists say to me, you know what, Celia? These suits are not doing you any good in here. They could help another woman. Please donate them to a shelter. When she put it to me that way, a little light bulb went off, and I thought, you know what? If I can help somebody, I'm going to. And as hard as it was, because I had some really good suits, a lot of money was spent on those suits, okay? But you know what? Once I let them go, it really was like this burden of these suits went with it, and it really made me kind of look at, okay, what clothes do I need now? It created room in my closet. It created room in my head. It emotionally opened me up. So, you know, it was like a win-win. Women got clothes that they needed, and I got to release things that no longer served me. Okay? You know, are you entertaining at home? When I became single, that was kind of the last thing on my mind. I avoided my home. I avoided having friends over. At Christmas this year, you know, 2018 for me was a lot about kicking fear to the curb and doing things I had not done or had not been doing, and out of fear, out of ego, whatever it was, whatever that reason was, I was going to do something different. And for me, entertaining, it used to be a really big thing, and I stopped entertaining when I became solo in the city, okay? So Christmas Eve was a big thing. I gathered some friends. It was an impromptu thing, and I put a dinner together, and you know what? Collectively, it was a wonderful evening. You know, a lot of memories were made, and now I'm doing this on the regular. I'm having the girls over and friends over for dinners, okay? So I am very excited about that. And that is good self-care, because that creates a community with your friends. It creates memories, okay? Remember, life is all about memories, people. We can't take anything with us, but we will always have those memories, okay? Next, do you get out and socialize? Well, that I think I'm pretty good at. I manage to get out and enjoy my time with friends and make new friends, and I do take myself out on dates with myself. So I think I'm got that part covered. Could I socialize a little bit more? Possibly. But for me, I think I'm pretty good. So ask yourself, you know, what can you do to get yourself out and around people and socializing more? Okay, do you take time to explore the world? I had not taken trips a lot. I used to take a lot of trips, even post-accident. I took a lot of trips with my ex. But the last few years, I did not. 2018, I was in Miami. I was in Europe. I was back in Europe. Oh my God, what an amazing thing to get back on a plane and be in another country and another place, and to really embrace everything about being somewhere else, okay? So I really encourage you to get out of your surroundings, your comfort zone. When you step out of that, oh my God, And it's good self-care because you're expanding your knowledge of things. You know what? Start off small. Go to a town or city outside of, your town or your city and explore there. Heck, explore your own city. How often, people come to Toronto to see the CN Tower, to go to the ROM, see the Ripley's Aquarium, and a whole, even Casa Loma. When was the last time you did things in your city that other people come to your city to take a look at, or your town, okay? So really kind of look at that. And that is good self-care because you're expanding your horizons, okay? Relationships. This is a big one. This is self-care. Relationships are part of our self-care, okay? And the relationship with ourself is even a bigger part, and one that really we need to work on. And again, part of self-care, lovelies. Do you have healthy, supportive relationships, with family, with friends, with yourself? Those of us don't have children, with our fur babies, okay? Yes, our fur babies are our family, and we need to have healthy relationships with them as well. Do you respect and love and appreciate yourself? And this is really important. So write this down in that little notebook that you got just before we started. And it's when you respect yourself, love yourself, appreciate yourself, you will take care of yourself. Okay? So those are really, really, really important. And also, when you do all of that, you are telling people how you expect to be treated, because how we treat ourselves is how others will treat us, okay? So if someone's not treating you the way that you really want them to be treating you, think about how you're treating yourself, and, kind of maybe you need to work a little bit on that. So that's good self-care as well. Okay, next on to self-growth and me time. Okay, and this is really important. Are you trying new experiences and seeking to broaden your knowledge? Our brain is like a muscle, folks. If we're not using it and what I mean by that is, we all use it on autopilot, okay? When we've learned things, we do things, and it just goes on autopilot. Our brain does not get exercised. Our brain gets exercised when we step out of the norm and do different things. So if you're always taking the same route to work, take a different route. That's going to exercise your brain, okay? And you're going to grow from that. Believe it or not, you will grow from that. If you take the subway in Toronto, get on a different stop. Get off at a different stop. Try different things. Brush your teeth with a different hand. Something as simple as that, okay? Exercise your mind. We need to exercise that. We need to expand our knowledge. Take a course, okay? It could be a leisure course. It doesn't have to be a scholastic course. It could be anything. Just learn something new, okay? How satisfied are you with the relationships with your spiritual being? Resilionista, the name in itself came from me being resilient and being in touch with my Ista, my inner self. There is a time, folks, when I thought, okay, you know what? Whoever I was is gone. That person is gone. I need to create a new person, blah, 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 okay? Experience has taught me that when I connected with my Ista, and my Ista is like your spirit, your being that resides in this human form that we're in, okay? And that Ista is always there. It will evolve based on the experiences that you've had. Experiences, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, ugly, amazing. Those will evolve your Ista. So your Ista will evolve. You evolve when your Ista evolves, okay? So that's self-growth. Self-growth is good self-care. Do you take time to relax and recharge? Okay, I'm going to ask you, how many of you already that are at home have made sure that you're charging your technical devices? Your phone is plugged in, your laptops are plugged in, your iPads are plugged in, all those devices are plugged in, whatever else other devices you use. Sandy, keep it clean, because I know if you're on here, you're going to have something to say about that. But anyways, we all take time to recharge our devices that we use on the regular, okay? Our bodies, our minds, our spirituality, our spirit, our Istas, they also need recharging. So are you recharging that? Okay, so that's self-growth and me time. Giving back to community. This is one of the most overlooked self-care tools that is available to us, guys. You know, how are you contributing to your local community, globally, to help others? Okay, really think about that, because when we give back, my gosh, the wonderful feelings that we get when we see someone blossom from a little something that we may have done. We may have done a big thing as well. But oh my God, you know, I sit on boards, I volunteer on committees, things like that, because giving back is also good self-care for me, okay? When you give back also, when you go through something, you belong to a community, okay? So please think about how you can give back, okay? Not just with the checkbook, but give back of yourself and your time. Okay, now the next one is financial stability. Okay, you need to practice good self-care when it comes to your finances. And, you know, look at your current income. Are you satisfied with that? Okay, are you prepared financially in case of an emergency? Let me tell you, lovelies, okay, I recently had a crown pop out. I was just clicking away, writing the Resilionista book that I'm working on, and all of a sudden it was like, what the heck is in my mouth? You know, I wasn't even having food. It was just like, what the heck? I spit it out, and it was my crown. Now, it was intact, and I thought, okay, this is going to be remedied quite quickly, and, you know, not a lot of expense. I called up my dentist, and they said, oh, come in, you know, went in, and they looked at it and said, oh yeah, it looks really good. We should just be able to cement it and put it back in. But you'll need to, you know, once you see the dentist, you'll know. Sat in the chair, the dentist came in. She's like, you know what? You've got a little bit of decay happening here, which could be why the crown was loose. You were just recently in for a cleaning, so, you know, that could have just kind of shaken it a little bit. But the good thing is that we can now see some decay that we would not have otherwise seen. So this little thing that I thought was just going to get rectified, if anybody's had a crown, you know it's now costing some big bucks, right? Luckily, I've always kept a little emergency fund, and it hasn't been a big hit for me. But imagine if I didn't have that, you know, how would I get my tooth done? I'm on my own. I don't work for a company. I don't have a health plan. I don't think all health plans cover crowns. I don't know, because I don't have one. So what would I have done? Okay, so it's important to have emergency funds set aside for something like that. I would have never in a million years thought that, you know, I would need to get a crown replaced. But I guess it happens. And thankfully, in my case, it was good that it did come out, because there was a little bit of decay underneath that crown. Okay, now what about retirement? Okay, are you saving for that? One thing that I get a lot when I'm speaking with gals is I'll say, oh, you know, you're going to retire, semi-retire, and they're like, oh, I wish, you know, I can't. I still have, you know, kids in school. You know, my kids have gone back to school. My kids have lost their job. You know, I've got grandkids I got to help out because my kids aren't able to do that. You know what? Retirement, you need to be prepared for that, guys. So you don't want to be spending your best years still working away. Okay, so that. Which brings us to career, business, and retirement, okay? Now, this is all good self-care because it's about evaluating how happy and fulfilled you are. Are you earning enough money to meet your needs? Again, back to your financial health, which is also, again, part of that self-care package, okay, guys? And, you know, maybe you're able to retire, but you know what? You're not fulfilled because, let's face it, when you're retired, there's only so many trips you can take, so many things you can do, because maybe a lot of your friends around you are still not retired, okay? You know, is your career, like if you're at work and you're dreading going in, you know, what can you do to, you know, make it better? Can you leave? Can you go to another job? Can you take early retirement? All that kind of stuff. So knowing where it's at. And a lot of us, we're starting second careers, okay? I didn't know what I was going to do at one point after I couldn't go back to a corporate world, and writing kind of came to me, and then speaking, and now heading up Resilionista. So there's always something. And do things that you would do for free. That's when you know that you are rocking your passion. In the early days, there wasn't a lot of money being made off of my blogging and things like that. There still isn't, okay? So, but you know what? I continue to do what I do because I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about self-care being an important part to creating the best life that you want to live. I'm very passionate about empowering women and helping women to put themselves in their day and practice self-care on the daily. So you know what? When I do what I do, it's okay. Okay? So remember that. Doing what you want to do, even if you weren't making a penny. Now, saying that, we all have mortgages to pay, we all have bills to pay, we all need to eat, we all need to dress. I don't think people would appreciate me going around naked, so I need to, clothe myself. So it's looking for ways that you can supplement your income stream while you're doing your passion as well. For me, it's writing the books, it's the planners. Thank you to everybody who purchases the self-care planners. Thank you to everybody who purchases the books, etc. as well. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Keeps me going. It keeps me able to do what I do to help other women. Which brings me to supportive community and friendships, okay? One of the best things you can do for yourself and your self-care is surround yourself with positive people. And I know that that can be a really hard thing to do sometimes when you're trying to evolve and the people around you are not evolving at the same speed that you're evolving, okay? So one of the things that thankfully technology can do is provide you with some groups that you can join virtually. You can become part of virtual communities. I will put the link. We have a Resilionista private women's club that is over 500 strong. And, the women in there, when they're talking, because right now, ladies, you guys are a little bit like crickets. So I really hope that you guys all get talking to each other, because that really is what the purpose of that group is to be. Is to talk about everything from your finances, to your lady parts and what's happening with those lady parts, to, retirement, to hobbies, to travel, whatever it is, we are doing so much. Avril is the gatekeeper over there, and she is working so hard to come up with new ways to help, women talk to each other, be supportive of each other, and also, ways to help them to promote their businesses if they're working on a business, careers, or products, to share products that have worked for them. There's a Resilionista Saturday Markets is starting this Saturday. I'm going to put a link to the Resilionista Private Women's Club in the comments below. Do check it out, ladies. It is something that I have a really strong feeling 2019 it's going to rock, because there is so much going on there. We're really putting a lot into that group. It is a closed group, and it's closed so that you as women feel a safetyness. You feel comfortable talking about those lady parts and what's happening down there, because not everybody is comfortable talking about it openly in a forum that anybody can be sitting in there. I know that Avril really does look at people that are asking to join the group. So she checks it out. She goes and checks out, where they're coming from, what other groups they are. If they're legitimate is basically what she's checking out, making sure that they're females, because we want to be able to talk about anything. We want to talk about our boobs, as Sandy would say. If you guys know, Let's Talk About Sex with Sandy. She's all about boobs and talking about everything, and I love her for that, okay? Not everybody is as comfortable, and that is one of the reasons we've kept the Resilionista Private Women's Club closed, okay? So that you can feel comfortable talking about all that. I think that I've covered a lot of things that are self-care beyond the bubble bath and naps. Bubble bath's my favorite, I know, oh my God. I'm telling you, when we were doing the photo shoot for Resilionista, I was not getting out of that tub, okay? Our photographer Des, she was like, okay, we're done. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna hang out here because I love my bubble baths, okay? So a lot of what I talked about is in the Resilionista Self-Care Planner. If you haven't got it, I encourage you to download it. I'll put a link to that also in the comments. We've made a conscious decision to keep it at a special rated price, so it will not be getting increased. So I really hope that you will take advantage of that and download it. There's, pop on and see what women are saying about the planner. Those of you who have the planner, thank you for sharing yourselves working on it and all the wonderful feedback that you have been sharing with us. So it is getting late. I don't want to keep you guys anymore. I look forward to the next segment of Self-Care Tips with Celia. I'm signing off. I will see you lovelies later. Take care of you and have a great time. And go have that bubble bath, okay?